to serve all of your homeownership needs. We are the agency that helps people obtain, retain, and maintain their homes. And we want folks to think of us almost as if we're the 911 for homeownership. Because right now, if someone is in the city and they, let's say their trash didn't get picked up, they automatically, instinctively know to call Public Works. Or if their stop sign is down, without even thinking about it, they know the transportation department is the group that has to come get that stop sign back up. And of course, if there's an emergency, everyone knows now 911, that will get you any emergency personnel there. We want folks to think about homeownership in the same way. We want to be that 911 for homeownership. I joke that we have the third easiest number in the city. 911 is first, 311 is second, and our number is 617-635-HOME. HOME or 4663. But again, easy number to remember how to get in touch with folks in Boston Home Center. So what does obtain, retain, and maintain mean? Obtain is our city's homeownership program, where we help people purchase homes in the city of Boston. Christine Sullivan, who's with us, is one of our experts on helping people achieve the dream of homeownership. It's a full service, all facet homeownership program where we take people from the very beginning stages. Some who may not be ready for another 5 years. There's someone who's actually going to be closing on a loan using one of our lenders and getting resources from the Boston Home Center. We do everything in between as well. We do all of the city's educational courses on first-time home buying. So literally somewhere in the city, 5 days a week, there's a Boston Home Center class happening in some neighborhood near you to teach you about homeownership. Our signature course, Homebuyer 101, which is a requirement in order to obtain our resources, is done all across the neighborhood at nights and on Saturdays. And during the day, in August, for example, we did a special, our own lunch and learn series on homeownership and our Homebuyer 101 program, where folks came to 26 Court Street during the lunch hour to learn about homeownership. We do other classes outside of Homebuyer 101, such as this past Wednesday, we ran a Meet the Lenders, which is an event we did in Roxbury at the Toledo Community Center. This was a sort of 2-hour networking session with lenders and realtors and partners on the state level and home center staff, where people could come in and just a very casual, comfortable environment, learn about mortgage products, learn about banking, learn about homeownership. We do that every month. There'll be an October Meet the Lenders somewhere in the city that you can come to for free and just engage staff and people in the lending program. We run big events. In November, we'll be doing a homeownership fall fair, and I hope you come to that and check out our website, bostonhomecenter.com. Join the Home Buyer Club if it's homeownership you're interested in, where you'll be notified automatically about those opportunities. That's our Home Buyer Club, which is on our website, bostonhomecenter.com. The fall fair will be at a hall where we'll have 20 to 40 vendor tables set up with lenders and realtors and state partners. We'll simultaneously hold classes on homeownership. At this fall fair, we've got the opportunity to meet D&D staffs and the Boston staff share with them, our chief, we hope the mayor will come, and all other city officials will come help you as you're working through your efforts around homeownership. Our Spring Housing Expo, which we held at the Curry Student Center at Eastern University, had over 400 people come. And that was a day-long homeownership fair where we did tables and raffles and lenders and vendors and all sorts of great things around homeownership. And it was really exciting because the fact that 400 people would take 3 or 4 hours out of their day on a Saturday in May when they could be doing anything and spend it with the Boston Home Center speaks to the strength of homeownership, the importance of homeownership in our neighborhoods, and the strength of our city that people want to buy homes. In fact, last fiscal year, in fiscal year 16, over 3,700 people came to Boston Home Center events or classes in one fiscal year. That is just an amazing number, and again, it speaks to the great work that the team is doing at the Home Center to help run events and educate people, but more importantly, the strength of the city and our neighborhoods, the fact that people want to achieve that dream of homeownership. So, you come to our classes, you come to our fairs, you come to our events, you take Homebuyer 101, you get a certificate, you're ready to buy a house. What other advantages does the Home Center give you on the uptaking home portion? Well, we run a loan program where we will actually loan you money to pay for your down payment and closing costs. How that works is we loan 3% of the total purchase price for condos, 2s and 3s. Condos, singles, and 2s, and 5% for triple deckers. So the short math would be if you buy a $400,000 home in Dorchester, 3% of the purchase price is $12,000. If you needed that, up to that amount will be available to you to put towards your down payment and closing costs. So we come in and help bridge that gap and help provide you access to capital to close that deal and help you become a homeowner. That is a 10-year, zero interest deferred loan. So no payments for 10 years, year 10, if you stay in the house for 10 years, we forgive the loan as a branch and never have to pay it back. So it's an incredible deal to help first-time home buyers achieve that dream of homeownership. And also taking full advantage of the full package of counseling from our representatives, classes, events, all of the things that are offered by the home center. I urge you to take advantage of both. There's no better deal in town than a loan that becomes a grant that you never have to pay back. Our loan last year, we did 92 loans to homeowners. That's up 20% from what we did the year before. I mean, we're able to help 20% more people buy homes in the city. And of the 92 who bought homes, those were 92 people that were never able to achieve the dream of homeownership if the Boston Home Center wasn't there to close that gap. So please take advantage of those homeownership opportunities. Microphone, sure. Never met a microphone I didn't like, so. So that's our home buying efforts. That's the obtain. So the retain portion of home ownership is once you have the home, unfortunately foreclosures are an issue, not just in Boston, but in cities all around Massachusetts and all around the country. While we're not in the height of the foreclosure crisis anymore, foreclosures are actually up 42% this time over where we were last year. And so again, I want to preface that by saying we're not at the height when we were in the subprime loan issue or the economy, which had a lot of foreclosures. But foreclosures are still an issue, and in fact, Mayor Walsh has made it clear to the Boston Home Center that he wants us to have a laser-like focus on making sure that we're able to help everyone who has an issue with foreclosure be able to resolve that. So the Boston Home Center is the foreclosure intervention team that acts on behalf of constituents to prevent foreclosure. We do it through education counseling, we do it through advice and guidance, we do it through money management, but we actually act as your liaison with your lending institution to help solve the foreclosure, including and up to even working with your bank or lending institution on a loan modification. And if you're at the point where you have an auction, we're going to work to help stop that auction so we can get you on the path towards having a better mortgage, having a modification, and saving your home. The Boston Home Center had an 87% success rate to prevent foreclosures last year. And for those that we couldn't prevent, we are able to provide partners in the community for free advice and legal guidance as necessary. So sometimes foreclosures can be a very tricky situation. Folks are oftentimes embarrassed. They don't want people to know. My advice to everyone in this room is if you're in that situation, and I hope you're not, or if you know someone that is, tell them not to be embarrassed. Feel free to come to the Home Center. Our services are all free. They're private. They're confidential. Nobody knows what's happening. Not even I have access to the foreclosure database to see the information that's in it. Oftentimes folks will actually, the first thing they do when there's a foreclosure issue is call a lawyer. And while I would advise people to not call a lawyer, I would tell you that we will do everything a lawyer will do, but we will do it for free. So this is a great service that the Home Center has to help people save their homes, and we're really proud of that 87% success rate on foreclosure prevention. So obtain is buying a home. Retain is saving your home. Maintain is a hugely important part of what the Boston Home Center does. Because once you own the home, whether you just bought it or you're a senior who's been in the house for 60 years, maintaining your home is a hugely important issue. And we run a very vast home repair program to help folks maintain their homes. In fact, if you read the mayor's housing report, Housing a Changing City, the mayor talks about building 53,000 new units of housing to accommodate Boston's population growth. Boston is one of the few cities around the country that is experiencing a rapid population growth, and by 2030 we need to house at least 53,000 new individuals. Part of that strategy is home ownership, so we're excited that the Home Center is front and center on the mayor's efforts around home ownership, purchasing homes, saving their homes, but maintaining their homes. Helping people stay in them is a critical piece of the mayor's housing plan and those 53,000 units of housing. HomeWorks Help is the city's program to help non-seniors make repairs to their homes. And what we do in HomeWorks Help is we help condos, singles, twos, or three-family homes with up to a $20,000 zero-interest loan, permanently deferred loan to make home repairs. So in HomeWorks, you have $15,000 worth of repairs. You're going to get a couple of contractors to give you estimates for that. We're going to assign a construction specialist from the Boston Home Center to review those estimates to make sure they're right and that's exactly what you're looking for. When you pick your contractor, we're going to loan you the $15,000 and then we're going to pay the contractor for you. You will have that construction specialist assigned to you permanently, so they monitor the job to make sure it's done on time and on budget and correctly, and to address any other issues that come up. They provide that technical assistance throughout the process. But what it does is it gives the homeowner that instant access to that $15,000 in capital that they might not have had to make those repairs. The loans are, unlike a bank loan, the beauty of the home center loan is it's deferred permanently. So if you stay in the house for another 50 years, we just sit as a mortgage on your property. If you have an existing mortgage, we simply take second place, and the loan is deferred forever. Unlike a bank loan, there's no interest whatsoever. So no interest, no payments, no accruing interest, and the only time we get our money back is when you sell your property. If you were to transfer the title to another relative, then we would get our money back because you're no longer the homeowner. Or if you did a cash out refinance, we would also get our money back as well as part of the cash out refinance. But in most cases, people forget the loan's even there until the property is sold. And yet they were able to get the roof done, the deck, windows, and things of that nature. You can come in our home buying program and purchase a home through Christine and her team, get $10,000 or whatever the number is for your down payment and closing costs. And then once you're in the home, you can come back and come into the homework program to make those repairs. Because we want you to have that house that's safe and has those issues addressed. If you have what's classified on the assessing side as a triple decker, as opposed to a 3-family, we run a triple decker specific program called our 3D program. And why we have a specific program for triple deckers is because we recognize that triple deckers are sort of an iconic part of Boston's history. They play a hugely important role in affordable and middle income housing, and they play a hugely important role on family housing. Oftentimes a homeowner will purchase a triple decker and live on the first floor, and family lives in the other 2 units. So the triple decker program escalates the money to $30,000. You'll get up to $30,000 in a low zero interest loan to work on your triple decker. Both in HomeWorks and in the triple decker program, a third has to be exterior and 2/3 interior. And the reason we do that is we want folks, while they're taking care of their internal stuff, also remembering how important it is to take care of the external pieces of your home, like a new roof, windows, siding. And with triple deckers, what we find, the majority of the folks who are in our triple decker program replace the decks. You'll oftentimes see stories on the news about triple deckers whose decks collapse because they're so old, they're deteriorated because of weather. We will come in and do those decks as part of our 3D program. And people really take advantage of it. And it becomes a public safety issue where the home center is able to work with the homeowner to avoid sort of that potential tragedy. So triple decker is a great program for those who have triple deckers. Senior home repair, probably one of our biggest customers. The mayor in his housing plan has identified seniors as a special population that we want to help. We want to help seniors age in place. We want to help seniors be able to live in their communities and stay in their homes. Many seniors are living longer now more than ever, which is awesome. My parents are 75, healthy, knock on wood, with no issues, and have this huge house in Hyde Park that needs all kinds of work. Most seniors are cash poor but house rich. And the single greatest thing that causes seniors to leave their homes is deferred maintenance issues. They need a new roof. They need a handicapped bathroom. They need a heating system. They need their front porch and their decks and stairs to be repaired. And they just don't have the capability or the money to make that happen. So the beauty of our senior home repair program, it's our full service model. And we call it full service because literally the senior doesn't have to do anything. If you're a senior, 62 or older, we work with 4 nonprofit partners around the city who contract with the home center, who actually go out to the senior's home and help them fill out the paperwork, locate their deed and all their taxes and all of the things that are required under the program to enroll. Our construction specialists will sit with the senior and walk them through all of the needs in their home. They may call because their heating system went, or their front steps are broken, or they have a hole in their roof, but most likely we'll identify other issues that are in the senior's home. The construction specialist will write up a scope of work, working with the senior. They will agree on it. We do everything from soup to nuts. We actually hire the contractor. We have a pool of about 30 Boston Home Center contractors who are the only ones that are allowed to bid on our jobs. And they fill out a very extensive application process to be one of our contractors because we know they're licensed, we know they're certified, we know they have all their insurance, workman's comp, that they're lead trained, and all of the things that we need to deal with to help seniors in their homes. So we get the contractor. We do the work write-up. We make all the payments. We work on it with the contractor in permitting.
The senior literally just has to agree to enroll in the program and sign out and agree on what the scope of work is. They also get a construction specialist that is with them the entire process to make sure the job is running smoothly and address any issues. And then we do all the final payments, so the seniors don't have to worry about final payments. The loans generally are between $5,000 and $60,000, give or take. That's about the window of what we can fund for our senior home repair projects. But again, that allows us to do sort of the totality of what are issues that seniors are facing. What we try to do in our motto, there are 3 things for a senior to qualify for senior home repair, and what we'll do to address issues in the house, and that's keep seniors safe, warm, and dry. That's the threshold. Anything that keeps a senior safe, warm, and dry is what we want to do. And by the way, senior home repair is more than just deferred maintenance issues. It's actually a public health issue for seniors. Seniors who have leaks in their roofs or water in their basement, which creates mold, creates health hazards, heating systems that are failing, keep seniors cold in their apartments, which leads to illness and other things. So we see our senior home repair program too as a public health issue where we're helping keep seniors healthy in their homes as well. We run a emergency and minor repair program for seniors. So if you're 62 or older in the city of Boston, our minor repair program is jobs generally up to $350, things that are minor. A leak under the faucet, a broken window, a broken banister or a loose railing. All of these kind of small projects, if a senior has issues with, they can call the mayor's hotline at 311 and they'll notify one of our Boston Home Center partners and we will send someone out to fix those. And that's free of charge to a senior in the city. So that's the Boston Home Center minor repair program where a senior can get minor repairs fixed for free. We run a really important emergency repair program. Emergency repairs are any repairs that are an emergency to that safe, warm, and dry. Up to $5,000 is free as a grant to the senior. So for example, a senior's water heater goes, a senior loses electricity, a sewer lateral, can't use your bathroom. Things of those natures, that nature, the Boston Home Center is gonna come in and fix pretty quickly on an emergency basis, and the senior's not charged. It becomes a grant to the senior homeowner. If the job becomes bigger, then we would enroll the senior in our senior home repair program, granting the first $5,000, but then enrolling them in the bigger program. So a couple of examples of what would an emergency be and why would seniors want to take advantage of it. We just helped a woman in Hyde Park because a 18-wheeler went through her neighborhood, shouldn't have been in there, and took down all the wires on the street. But when it did, it ripped out the wire off her house, including ripping her service off her house. So it was 95 degrees, a husband who's on oxygen, no air conditioning, and she had no heat, no air conditioning, no lights, anything of that nature. That became a health threat. She called the mayor's hotline, they sent it to us. That same day, we had an electrical contractor on contract to go out and restore the service, reconnect the wire, and put all our lights back on and redo all our fuses and all that stuff. It was about $3,000. We did it as a grant to the senior. We have a senior homeowner in Dorchester who had a sewer lateral break. That's the sewer pipe that goes from your house out to the street. And it's something important for everybody to know, actually, because water and sewer is in charge of the pipe in the street, but there's a pipe that connects their sewer pipe to your house that runs under your front yard, under the sidewalk, and under the street. And in the majority of cases, people think that that pipe is the responsibility of water and sewer because it's not in your house, right? It's outside. But water and sewer counts that as your pipe. So if that sewer lateral breaks, which they do all the time because they are probably installed in the 40s and 50s, the homeowner is responsible for that. Boston Water and Sewer has what's called the sewer lateral program that anyone can apply to, which will give them up to $4,000 towards that repair. In many cases, that's much more. In the case in Dorchester, the senior's sewer lateral broke, and hers was $9,000. And here's a senior, 85 years old, had no access to her bathroom. Actually waited 2 weeks before calling anyone. Wasn't able to use a bathroom for 2 weeks. Working with Boston Water and Sewer, we repaired the emergency. She got $4,000 from Water and Sewer, a $5,000 grant from us. The $9,000 job was free to the senior, and we were able to get it resolved. So these are kind of the emergencies that seniors face on a daily basis. And I know there are no seniors in this room, but you all must know seniors. And if you have neighbors and friends with seniors, keep that in mind when you hear your neighbors and friends having trouble with these kind of emergencies. The city also runs a brand new program which got a really amazing coverage, and we're so thankful that Mayor Walsh came out and actually publicly announced it in Roslindale at a Boston Home Center seniors home, and that is a new program called Seniors Saves. And Senior Saves is a heating system replacement program where we're going to go in and just do heating systems. And it's a result of the fact that we saw that heating systems were some of the #1 issues facing seniors in their homes. Most cases they became an emergency, and that's why we went out and replaced them. But the mayor said, why don't we get into the seniors' homes and replace them before they become an emergency? And that's where Senior Saves was born. We will go into a senior's home and assess their heating system. If it's 12 years or older and in need of failure, we're going to come in before it breaks down. We're going to proactively replace the heating system. In every case, it's always a much higher energy efficient heating system. So we're going to put in a brand new system that's not in threat of failure. We're going to avoid a catastrophic failure. We're going to keep the senior warm. It's a $3,500 grant to the senior, and the rest is a zero interest loan to the senior for the remainder of the cost. We did it as a pilot last year, expecting to do about 50 heating systems over the year. And it turned out that there was such need, we actually did 59 heating systems in 4 months. And because of that pilot program success, the mayor funded it permanently in our budget as a permanent program to help seniors with heating systems. We announced it 2 weeks ago at a Rosendale Seniors homeowner. But I think the best story that illustrates the importance of Senior Saves is during the pilot phase, we got a call from a senior homeowner in Roxbury who was, I think, 82 years old and had one heating system feeding her unit and her 2 tenants' units. And she only had 1 meter. So there was no ability to individually charge the 2 tenants for whatever they're using. Because she had oil, and not last winter, which was warm, but the winter before, which was the catastrophic winter, she ran up a $45,000 heating bill that she couldn't pay. So she actually refinanced her home at 82 years old to the tune of $45,000. Not to pull that money out to give to her kids for college or to help buying a home. She pulled the $45,000 out, took a mortgage to pay an oil company. The Boston Home Center came in, put in 3 brand new, got rid of, by the way, that old-fashioned heating system, put in a brand new, 3 brand new energy efficient heating systems, converted the oil to gas, and individually metered each unit so that now each unit gets their own bill from the utility, saving this senior literally tens of thousands of dollars. No senior should have to go through what she went through to take on a mortgage at 82 years old to pay a heating bill. And that will never happen again with this senior or any other seniors that we can get to under this program. It's an awesome program, incredibly favorable terms and conditions, and we urge you that if you know folks, or if you have heating systems, or if you know people who are 60 or older and you're in a building where the senior is the homeowner and you're the renter and needs a new heating system, please urge them to contact us about how we get that new heating system in. The city also runs the Lead Safe Boston program. And Lead Safe Boston is the city's efforts to mitigate and reduce lead poisoning in children. Huge issue still, you're probably following the Boston Public School issue, the Flint, Michigan issue. Well, in Boston, the issue is lead paint. Houses built before 1978, all, for the most part, would have lead paint in them. And so Lead Safe Boston has been working to reduce and remediate all of the units in the city that have lead paint. If a child has an elevated blood level, the doctor notifies the Boston Public Health Commission, who then notifies the city. But people proactively are coming to the home center as well to learn about how they can get their units de-leaded. So what does it mean? You come to the Boston Home Center, we're going to get you a de-leading contractor to inspect your property. If you have lead, you're going to enroll, and we're going to do an $8,500 grant per unit to de-lead them. Which means if you own a triple decker, you're eligible for as much as $27,500 to de-lead those units. There's no penalties, there's no punishment from the city on that. We're actually the opposite agency. We want to make sure that if you have lead, you get rid of the lead in your units. And it's the only program where you can be an absentee landlord. Meaning all of our programs we talked about, buying a home and getting our money, you have to buy in the city. To get home repair or senior home repair or senior saves, you have to live in the city. You can be an absentee landlord, you can live in Canton, but own a triple decker in Dorchester. And we want the people living in the triple decker in Dorchester to be lead free, so we offer this program to non-Boston residents. And we think it's critically important because we want every child to be lead free in the city. Since 1996, Lead Safe Boston has de-leaded over 2,500 units in the city. So we're really proud of that record. But the job isn't over. There's still a huge issue in Boston. We have a dense housing stock. That's an older housing stock. Many houses built before 1978. So there's still hundreds of units we want to get to be able to de-lead them. In fact, because the issue is still so prevalent, we're really proud that HUD just awarded us a $3.1 million grant to de-lead additional units in the city in the next 2 years. So it's something we take very seriously. Our Lead Safe Boston team is nationally recognized for their Lead Safe Boston efforts, and we want to continue to just eradicate this issue so there's no lead paint problems and no childhood poisoning anywhere in the city. So I know I gave you a lot. Believe it or not, this was kind of the short version. I could have done it even longer, but what's important to remember is what the Boston Home Center is there for. That we're a city agency. We want to help city employees. We want to help Boston residents. We're excited about having people purchase homes in our city, and our population continues to grow and increase, and individuals who come here will become homeowners and achieve that dream of homeownership. Obtain, retain, maintain, buy homes, and access our educational courses and funding to do that. Retain, save your home from foreclosure. Let us be your voice and your advocate working with your lending institution to do that. And maintain. Take advantage of the Boston Home Center to keep your home safe, warm, and dry, to make those repairs that will allow you to live in your home for years to come. So anything related to home ownership, we want to be your one-stop shopping, and I can't stress enough, like you think of 911 for all your public safety needs, think of the Boston Home Center for all your home ownership needs. So I'm happy to take any questions from anybody, and I think, yes?
So you touched on like a growing population and then people purchasing homes. Is there anything kind of focused on students or people with student loan debt?
That's a great question. We work with students. One of the things that we think of is on the education component. We want more college students to take advantage of the home center so we can come educate graduating seniors about the advantages of home ownership instead of necessarily renting, that in many cases you can get a mortgage for the same price you would be renting for paying in rent. Recognizing rental is a hugely important part of housing in our city, but we also try to educate folks about how home ownership is within reach. And one of the things we want to do is educate graduating college students about their finances. So the Home Center takes the financial piece very seriously. We offer financial counseling and financial training. We run what's called Credit Boot Camp. It's a very extensive and intensive credit counseling that we would do. So for college students to understand how credit is a major obstacle to home ownership, we would want to do that. And in fact, Christine can help me out. Was it maybe a year ago? We were at Suffolk University. They asked us to come talk to seniors about credit and financial literacy and home ownership. We recently were asked by UMass Boston, that was over the spring, come talk to the students, a group of seniors getting ready to graduate, about home ownership, financial literacy, and credit smart. So we see that as a very important piece to, the education piece is so critical around home ownership. Educated homeowners and educated constituents become better homeowners because they understand mortgage products and financial literacy and what their credit score means, and all of the issues of buying a condo versus buying a home, buying a foreclosed property versus a non-foreclosed property. We even run a class on how to purchase a foreclosed property. So we see the education piece for everyone as critical, and clearly think if we can get to college students as they're graduating or have just graduated to put them in that pipeline of education and then possibly home ownership, we definitely want to do it.
Yeah, I mean, so like education as far as financing and then managing like student loan debt versus like, I think of, I mean, all that we're seeing in the city right now is people that are graduating college, they may have, wherever their income's at, they're very asset poor, they have maybe less than $1,000 in savings.
You're absolutely right. So the debt issue is huge, and that issue sort of goes beyond obviously the home center. The huge issue facing the national debate and the presidential politics, and certainly something we're cognizant of. And our counselors, Christine and the other counselors, would kind of work with our individual one-on-one counseling to talk about what their debt ratio is and what their level is and how that looks. So you're right on with it, and it's maybe even something the home center can think about moving forward, bigger classes or things around the whole debt issue. So great point. Anybody else? Yes, sir. Yeah. If your certificate expires, you're good for 3 years. You have to take it again. But I would encourage folks that if it went 3 years, that you should want to take it again, because we're always doing new things in our home buyer classes. So the recent contract that went out and was just awarded for September actually has changes from the last contract that went out. It's going to focus more on the financial literacy piece and things of that nature. It's going to have more efforts about what the home center can offer in those classes, so that it's a dual track and homeowners are prepared. So every year the next year has a different contract, and so for those who do expire, I do encourage them. You have to do it anyway, but I encourage that it's worthwhile, because what you learn then is going to be enhanced. Now it's going to be enhanced from what you learn then. Yes, sir.
I know that you talk about the resident of Boston, how for the them. I know that you bring training or first time home to the city.
Mm-hmm.
But my question is, what we're doing to go to the new program, and for example, Latino group, to give that knowledge to the customer.
It's a great question. So the gist of this question is, how do we bring the education component and the information beyond sort of just this kind of a meeting or to different constituencies like the Latino community? We have made a very aggressive push the last 2 years to take what I call the Boston Home Center show on the road. So we're going to community meetings nightly. We are at Crime Watch meetings nightly. We are hosting more events that the Home Center runs in every neighborhood. We're at events on Saturdays and Sundays. So for example, tomorrow, we're going to be, we were asked and we're thrilled to be invited to go to the Boston Police Foundation's annual Police Officer Family Field Day. And we're going to host a resource table for police officers and their families to come understand and learn about what the Boston Home Center offers. We've been asked by unions. So far we've done presentations to the Boston Fire Union, the Boston Teachers Union. We're giving presentations to the civilian staff of the Boston Fire Department. We've been before the Boston Transportation Department staff. So you're right on. We're treating this as almost as if it's a campaign, right? The way, the more folks are going to understand what services the Home Center offers for us to get out to where the people are, to community meetings, to departments in the city, to private businesses and organizations. We're really willing to go anywhere we have to go to tell the great story of what the programs that the Boston Home Center offers. So, yes, ma'am.
After you buy your house with the number one, what programs do you run for maintaining the house? Before you became a senior citizen?
Right, but you mean like after you've purchased, right after you've purchased? Yeah, so it's a great question. You can come right in, if you've purchased your home through the city, you can come right back into the city's program and get an additional loan, separate, and that's our HomeWorks program. And HomeWorks program is the non-senior program, and actually it's 62 and under for HomeWorks. Senior home repair is 62 and over, except for senior saves, which is 60 and older. So 62 and older for senior home repair, and 61 and under for non-senior home repair. But the senior saves program has a different age, and that's 60 and over. So my advice would be, if you're a non-senior, you'd want to come in the HomeWorks program. Unless you have a triple decker, we would want to put you in the triple decker program. That's exactly what we do. Now, there are income eligibilities, obviously, around any programs that government offers, but you'll notice on the white home repair sheet, there's different levels of income eligibility, including an eligibility that if you're over income, you can still participate with the Home Center because we have a matching program, where if you put some money, if you're over income and can't get all the money, you put some money in and we'll put some money in. And that has been very effective because folks are willing to accept even a little bit of help. And so the example being, if you were over income and it was a $10,000 job, we would put 5 in and you would put 5 in. So check out the white home repair sheet. It's got the income guidelines on it. Figure out sort of where you are on that. Chances are one of the 3 levels we'll be able to help with, even if it's the matching program.
Question: if your spouse is creditor to that, and you got good credit, do I still need to put her income there?
So it is total household income. We don't care about credit though. Our issue on our income guidelines are, what's the total income in the household? How many members? If it's a 5-person household, what is the combined income of all 5 of those people? And if 3 are children and only 2 have income, we still go by the 5-person household, but we take the income of those who are in the household, add that up, and if it's below the number, you can kind of figure on the chart where you are, which program you would come in. Anyone else? Awesome, so I want to say thank you. Yep, sorry. So we have a checklist, yep, for which program? Home ownership or home repair? Yeah, so we have a checklist, and it's going to be what's your income. So we ask for your tax statements, for example, pay stubs, things of those nature. Anything that shows whatever income. If you have rental income, that counts as your income. If you have a second job, that counts as your income. So, and anything that can prove the income that is backed up with what your taxes and what you're taking in, so. This is great. I want to thank everybody for coming. This was a great crowd, great questions, and I want to thank again Chief Arroyo and the Office of Health and Human Services for having me here today. You can email me directly, rob.consalvo@boston.gov. In the packet is my card with my direct dial, and we're always available at 635-HOME or our own website, bostonhomecenter.com. Thank you.